Malphine Fogel's first encounter with Donald Trump took place on July 13, 2024, at the Butler Farm Show in Butler, Pennsylvania. Moments later, a large rally in support of Trump's campaign was set to begin. At 95 years old, Malphine attended as an invited guest with a singular purpose: to seek help for her son, Mark Fogel, who was imprisoned in Russia. Mark Fogel, an American teacher, was arrested in August 2021 at Moscow's Sheremetyevo International Airport for carrying 17 grams of medical marijuana. He was subsequently sentenced to 14 years in prison. The Fogel family considered the sentence excessively harsh, and Mark's health deteriorated steadily in detention. As his mother, Malphine had tirelessly sought to draw the U.S. government's attention to his case, including pressuring the Biden administration and filing a lawsuit. But progress was minimal. In the summer of 2024, she pinned her hopes on Trump. Upon learning of his rally in Butler, she reached out to his team to request a face-to-face meeting. According to Malphine, she had planned to join Trump on stage during the rally to jointly call attention to Mark's plight, an arrangement pre-coordinated with Trump's team. However, less than an hour after their meeting, a dramatic turn of events unfolded. As Trump took the stage and began displaying a chart on illegal immigration data, gunshots rang out. A gunman named Thomas Matthew Crooks fired at Trump, grazing his right ear and causing minor injury. One spectator was killed, and 2 others were wounded. The assassination attempt shocked the nation and disrupted Malphine's chance to speak. Seated in the VIP section, she witnessed Trump bleeding from his ear as chaos erupted around her. Protected by local politicians, she crouched down to take cover. Malphine later told the media she was stunned by the shooting but deeply impressed by Trump's promise. She recounted to her son Mark that Trump had heard her plea just before the incident occurred.
And he just felt so bad when he heard about the Trump incident yesterday.
This was truly a historic moment. He said that he was sorry that I had to witness that. I said, well, this is history. Despite surviving the assassination attempt, Trump did not forget Malphine's request. After winning the election in November 2024 and taking office on January 20, 2025, he immediately prioritized Mark's rescue as a diplomatic objective. Mark's release was ultimately secured through a successful swap negotiation. U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz revealed that Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, along with the president's advisory team, struck a deal with Russia to free Fogel in exchange for Russian citizen Alexander Vinnik. Vinnik, accused by the U.S. of being a cybercrime mastermind, had allegedly laundered over $9 billion through a cryptocurrency exchange. Arrested in Greece in 2017 and extradited to the U.S., Vinnik's release terms included the forfeiture of over $100 million in assets to the U.S. government before his return to Russia. On February 11, 2025, Witkoff secretly flew to Moscow, meeting with Russian officials and escorting Fogel onto a plane after negotiations. Reports indicate he held a 3.5-hour discussion with Vladimir Putin, a detail reported by Fox News but unconfirmed by the Kremlin. After a brief stop in Moscow, the plane departed for Washington. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov confirmed on February 12 that a Russian citizen, Vinnik, would return to Russia in the coming days, describing the swap as a step toward building mutual trust. That evening, Mark arrived in Washington and was greeted by Trump at the White House. Draped in an American flag, an emotional Mark declared, "President Trump is a hero." In an interview with Fox News, Malphine said, "I can't thank him enough. He promised me he'd save Mark, and he did." Her years of effort culminated in this moment of triumph. Yet, just 6 months earlier, on June 20, 2024, Malphine had filed a lawsuit against then U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and the State Department in the Western District of Pennsylvania Federal Court. The lawsuit demanded that the State Department designate Mark Fogel as wrongfully detained under the Robert Levinson Hostage Recovery and Hostage-Taking Accountability Act, Levinson Act. Mark's arrest in Moscow in August 2021 for possessing 17 grams of medical marijuana led to his 14-year sentence. Malfein argued that his case mirrored that of WNBA star Brittany Griner, who was arrested for a similar offense, quickly designated as wrongfully detained by the State Department, and released via a prisoner swap in December 2022. However, as of the lawsuit's filing, Mark had not received this designation, stalling diplomatic efforts. Malfein and her legal team contended that the Biden administration's response to Mark's case was unjustifiably slow. The lawsuit highlighted that nearly 3 years after his arrest, the State Department had provided no clear explanation for withholding the wrongfully detained status, leaving the Fogel family without the resources and support mandated by the Levinson Act, such as direct government communication and prioritized rescue efforts. Mark, who suffered from chronic back pain, faced worsening health in harsh prison conditions. Malfein feared that without swift action, her son might not survive to return home. At 95, she stressed her limited time to see him again. The lawsuit noted that Mark's and Griner's charges under Russian law were identical, drug-related, yet the State Department treated them differently, possibly due to Mark's lack of celebrity status as an ordinary teacher rather than a public figure. In early October 2024, the State Department moved to dismiss the lawsuit, arguing that Malfein had no legal right to demand a specific case review and that even if such an obligation existed, Mark's case had been evaluated. They further clarified that the Levinson Act required only a review, not a mandatory wrongfully detained designation. During the litigation, the State Department privately informed the Fogel family in October 2024 that Mark had been designated as wrongfully detained, a decision publicly confirmed in December. With their primary demand met, Malfein's attorneys filed to withdraw the lawsuit on December 26, 2024, and the court dismissed the case the following day. Though the lawsuit ended in withdrawal, it directly prompted the State Department to designate Mark as wrongfully detained, transferring his case to the Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs, SPEHA, and obligating the U.S. government to prioritize his release. Malfein's attorney, Edward Phillips, called it a substantial victory, as it provided critical resources for Mark's return. Malfein sued the Biden administration because she believed the State Department's sluggish response and failure to promptly designate Mark as wrongfully detained hindered rescue efforts. While the lawsuit's success paved the way for his release, Mark's freedom came under the Trump administration, intensifying the Fogel family's frustration with the Biden administration's efficiency. Reflecting on this saga, particularly Malfein's meeting with Trump mere minutes before the assassination attempt, the dramatic twists evoke the unpredictability of fate. Trump's commitment, upheld even after surviving the attack, adds a legendary layer to the story. Pennsylvania Representative Mike Kelly remarked, "That 1-inch difference determined whether Mark would come home. It was divine intervention." At 95, Malfein's relentless pursuit, from suing the Biden administration to pleading with Trump, exemplified a mother's boundless love. Undeterred by gunfire, she persisted, ultimately moving Trump and his team to act. Trump's approachable demeanor during the campaign and decisive action in office shone through this episode, reinforcing his promise-kept public image. Malfein repeatedly expressed her gratitude, telling America Reports in February 2025, "When I met him, he was so kind. I truly believe he made the difference." She described learning of Mark's release as a complete surprise and the best gift before her 96th birthday in mid-March. The encounter between Malfein Fogel and Donald Trump, from their brief meeting at the Butler rally to the harrowing moment of an assassination attempt, culminating in Mark's eventual release, was filled with drama and heartfelt emotion. This was not merely a story of a family reunion, but also a symbolic testament to Trump's approachable nature and unwavering commitment to his promises. Weaving a legendary chapter of politics and humanitarian rescue in 2024-2025. Malfein's steadfast perseverance through adversity and Trump's selfless dedication to his word together crafted a warm and unforgettable fragment of contemporary history.